There are footballers, and then there's Diego Maradona.
Bueno, el sueño a nivel futbolístico es ganar el Mundialito y ganar el Mundial 82. O sea, eso. Y después seguir creando, ¿no?
Yo creo que en estos momentos es el jugador más importante que tiene el fútbol internacional. Tiene todas las cualidades, es decir, tiene velocidad, tiene habilidad, tiene talento, es creador, es goleador.
A man who didn't just play the game, he rewrote it. A man so gifted that fans called him a god, and so flawed that his own greatness destroyed him. This is not just the story of a football legend, it's the story of what happens when one human being carries the weight of a nation, the love of millions, and the pressure of perfection, all at once. Before we begin, if you believe football is more than just a game, if you love stories that show both the beauty and the pain behind greatness, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because here, we uncover the stories football tried to forget. This is how Diego Maradona changed football forever, and paid the ultimate price. Diego Armando Maradona was born on October 30th, 1960 in Villa Fiorito, one of the poorest neighborhoods in Buenos Aires. He was the fifth of 8 children, living in a small shack with no running water. His father worked in a factory, his mother stretched meals to feed everyone, and Diego's only escape was a ball. He slept with it, ate with it, dreamed with it. By age 10, people came from miles away just to watch the kid with the magic feet. He wasn't just good, he was special. Every touch looked like destiny. At 15, he made his professional debut for Argentinos Juniors. By 16, he was the youngest player ever called up to Argentina's national team. Maradona wasn't just a footballer, he was the hope of an entire country that longed for a hero. But no one could have predicted that this boy from the slums would soon become both a savior and a center on football's grandest stage. When he joined Boca Juniors in 1981, the entire nation watched. For a kid who grew up watching Boca from a black and white TV, this was a dream come true. But Diego's ambitions were bigger than Argentina. In 1982, he moved to Europe. Barcelona paid a world record fee to bring him in. The world expected a superstar. What they got was chaos. Injuries, fights, and a violent brawl in the Copa del Rey final made his Barcelona chapter infamous. But in the middle of that fire, another club came calling. One that would change his life forever. Napoli. A struggling team from southern Italy, mocked and underestimated by the rich northern clubs. When Maradona arrived in 1984, 70,000 fans filled the San Paulo Stadium just to see him. It wasn't just a transfer, it was a revolution. For the people of Naples, Maradona was one of them. Poor, defiant, passionate. He wasn't just playing football, he was fighting for dignity, and he delivered. He carried Napoli to their first ever Serie A title in 1987. The streets erupted, churches replaced Jesus' portraits with Maradona's face. He turned a city of outcasts into champions. Mexico, 1986, the World Cup. Maradona arrived as captain of Argentina, carrying the hopes of a nation still scarred by war and poverty. Then came that match, Argentina versus England, a symbolic clash. Just 4 years after the Falklands War, tension filled the air. In the 51st minute, a high ball rose into the sky. Maradona, 5'5", jumped beside the English keeper and punched it in. A little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. He later said, the world erupted in outrage. But just 4 minutes later, he scored the goal of the century. A 60-yard solo run, dribbling past 5 defenders and the goalkeeper. Pure magic. He turned villainy into artistry. That day, Diego Maradona became immortal. Argentina won the World Cup, and Maradona became the symbol of rebellion, genius, and redemption all at once. But every high has a cost. And for Maradona, the price of immortality was about to come due. At the height of his fame, Maradona began to crumble. The parties grew wild, the nights longer, the drugs heavier. In Naples, he was loved by millions, but also hunted by the mafia, the media, and his own demons. He hid from reporters, missed training, and spiraled deeper into addiction. When he failed a drug test in 1991, his fall was complete. The hero of Naples became its scandal. The same fans who worshipped him now whispered his name in shame. He left Italy under a storm of controversy, tax evasion, rumors of mafia ties, and broken relationships. But no one could erase what he'd done for them. Naples had never seen glory before him, and never would again. But even when the world turned its back on him, Maradona still believed his story wasn't over. And against all odds, he tried to rise again. The 1994 World Cup in the United States was meant to be his comeback, but halfway through the tournament, he was sent home for testing positive for a banned substance.
Emir, ¿sabes qué jugador hubiese sido yo si no hubiese tomado cocaína? ¿Qué jugador nos perdimos? Me queda el mal sabor de boca, que hubiese sido mucho más de lo que soy. Sí, te puedo asegurar que sí. Yo nací dentro del fútbol y yo ya sabía quién iba a ser. Lo que no sabía era que iba a tomar cocaína. Yo sabía que iba a comprarle la casa a mamá, que me iba a casar, que iba a tener mi familia, que iba a recorrer el mundo, que iba a salir campeón con Argentina. Lo dije cuando tenía así. Ahora lo dije. Está grabado.
It was over. Maradona retired soon after, battling heart issues, obesity, and drug dependency. He'd escaped poverty, conquered the world, and destroyed himself in the process. Yet even in his darkest moments, people still loved him. Because Maradona never pretended to be perfect. He was raw, flawed, human. When he finally cleaned up his life and returned to football as a coach, he carried the same fire. Even on the sidelines, he lived every play with the intensity of the man he used to be. And then, on November 25th, 2020, the world stopped. Diego Maradona, the boy from Villa Fiorito, the god of Naples, the soul of Argentina, was gone. A heart attack took him at 60, but his story never left us.
¿Recuerdas dónde estabas el día que te enteras de la muerte de Maradona?
Sí, estaba acá en mi casa. Me llegó un mensaje de mi papá y enseguida puse la tele, empecé a ver cosas y me enteré de todo.
¿Qué sentiste?
Una locura, la verdad que no lo podía creer. Porque si bien todos sabíamos que Diego no estaba bien, nadie imaginaba que iba a pasar eso que pasó y nadie lo esperaba y nadie puede creer hasta el día de hoy que Maradona haya muerto, que Diego no esté más y que haya pasado de verdad. Fue algo terrible y en ese momento una locura.
Tú sabes que se os ha comparado mucho, a ti y a Diego. ¿Tú te imaginas un funeral a ti, como el de Maradona?
No, la verdad que no lo imagino ni quiero pensarlo, ¿no? No, pero era normal, ¿no? Por lo que fue Diego,
Because even in death, Maradona's spirit refused to fade. And what came next proved he was more than a legend. He was eternal. Today, murals of Maradona cover walls from Buenos Aires to Naples. Songs, prayers, and even a church, the Iglesia Maradoniana, were made in his name. Because Diego wasn't just a footballer, he was a symbol of hope for the poor, a rebellion against the powerful, a reminder that greatness can come from anywhere, even from a dirt field in Villa Fiorito. He showed the world that talent could change history, and he showed the world that no one, not even gods, can outrun their flaws. Maradona once said, "If I die, I want to be born again, and I want to be a footballer, and I want to be Diego Maradona again." Because for him, it was never about perfection, it was about passion, and that's why Diego Maradona will live forever, not in statistics or trophies, but in the hearts of everyone who believes in the beautiful, tragic madness of football. If this story moved you, if you felt the magic and the heartbreak, help keep his legacy alive by liking this video, commenting your favorite Maradona moment, and sharing it with someone who still believes in the beautiful game. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe to the Sideline Vault, where we bring football's forgotten legends back to life. This was how Diego Maradona changed football forever and paid the price. A story of genius, chaos, and the human soul behind the ball.